Good evening. How are you? It's Saturday night and you're here with Amanda. We're going to make vegetarian nachos. We're going to talk. I'm going to show you some things and we're going to have a good time. So I hope you like the calmness of my voice. I'm going to send you to sleep. Hey, to have an environmental discussion. What I do every time I'm doing the dishes, I'm old-fashioned, I don't have a dishwasher. When I run the water, before it gets hot, I fill up handy pasta bottles full of water, and it gets hot about second or third one. So and then I can wash the dishes in hot water without any cold, and I can save some water. I use the water in the pasta jars to water plants, to cook, to feed. Oh, sorry. Give my cat a drink. She doesn't like the spring water that I drink. Funnily enough, so. There's lots of purposes for it. I've got so many house plants that there's always a plant that needs watering. Tonight I'm wearing some jewellery that is also in my shop. It's not the same thing as what I'm wearing, in the point that I'm not wearing stock. I'm wearing my own products. This green synthetic emerald ring is in two different sizes. This sterling silver plated necklace with the lightning, beautiful Amanda earrings. Should I say? But it's all at this website, www.depop.com/loved_Amanda. Here we have the ingredients for our vegetarian nachos. This is what we're going to cook with for the beans. And then we've got some organic corn chips. Organic options always make me happy if I can have them. Then some vegetarian tasty shredded cheese. It's not vegan, but this sour cream for the end is. That's vegan. This is also vegan, the salsa. I'm not going to bother making salsa. I've got some jalapeno peppers, nice big jar there. Got that on special. And then I'm going to chop up avocado. I'm not going to make the avocado dip. What is that called? Guacamole. I got a nice new cutting board. It's a Kmart bamboo cutting board, and I got it off eBay, so I paid extra for it. Always watch out for that, hey. I'm going to save my onion skins for a dyeing project that we may see on this channel later on, but who knows, I get very distracted. 1/2 of the onion in a little Tupperware. because I only use half for myself. I usually make about 1.5 serves, so it's enough for me for dinner and then maybe a snack later on that night. Depends on how late I stay up, or lunch the next day. In this case, I'm going to make a heap of the beans and use half tonight and freeze half. But what I do is label it. I use the same little Tupperware all the time because it gets a bit stinky with the onion, and I'm going to label it with a lovely Sharpie and then pop it in the fridge. I have a massive habit of labeling everything. My dad recently died, and he used to do the same thing. He used to have like can't remember the name of them, Dymo or Dino or something like that. Those click labelers with the little tape. And I've always been one that's printed out sheets of labels on the printer. And also we know my grandfather, that was my father's dad, who's been passed away since before I was born. I have died, but we won't. That's another video, remember. So he really loved stationery and labelling things too. So I've really picked that up from my dad. So my dear departed dad, he died 6 days ago, 3:30 in the afternoon. We haven't had the funeral yet, and we are yet to do that. We're going to cremate him and have a short ceremony. Yeah, it's shocking. One day he's here, next day he's gone. Love people as much as you can while they're there. That's my advice. To a stove. Let's light the stove. Low heat. My stove is very old. Some extra virgin olive oil, because no doubt that's the only thing that's a virgin by now. We will add the onions, and keep chopping up the capsicum. That looks like a lot of olive oil, but you'll need it for the amount of frying that we'll do. This is just the first batch of things. So, what have you been up to this week? Tell us in the comments. Have you been having fun? Have you been doing anything different? I always wonder about who it is that watches me. Got it down low, yes. So finally chop the capsicum, because traditionally you wouldn't have capsicum in the beans, but we want to make it a little bit more vegetable-y just for the health aspect. and that's why we're also adding kale. So it doesn't go outside the boundaries of taste in a Mexican dish, but it can still give us a little bit more vitamins and minerals, because ultimately when we eat, that's what we are after, nourishing our bodies. I love the sounds of cooking, so I'm fully into all those AMSR videos with chop, 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 chop. I think that's like something that I remember from my childhood that was really peaceful, is Mum like making things in the kitchen and stuff, and me just playing around her and doing whatever. Not all the time, but you know, just that's a memory. Talking about my dad, you know, because he passed away, when he used to come home, he was an auditor. This is when he was an auditor for the Auditor General's Department, which is a government department. He used to wear a suit and, you know, proper shoes and everything like that. Leather, which, you know, I totally oppose these days. But he would come home and I would grab his feet and sit on his foot, and he'd have to walk around and say, "Oh, I've got mud on my shoes." And I would, yeah, he'd have to shake me off. Yeah, what a memory, hey? So this is smelling great already. Obviously we're going to add some chili, but I don't like my nachos too hot, so because I do like the jalapenos on top. So I'm going to add chili powder, which you can do at pretty much any stage of the process. Still want a bit in there, give it a bit of kick. And that blends well with all the beautiful flavours of the vegetables. Just remember, we're vegetarians. So we've got some garlic powder as well. I don't want to add too much garlic. Sort of a flavour that I don't want to... Right, here we go. We don't want too much of it. But we do want a hint to flavour it up. And that's why I'm adding the kale, because I want the flavour, and also, as I said before, I want to have some vegetables for goodness. This is kale from my very own garden that I have grown with my very own hands. Kale is very easy to grow if you're interested, so get with the growing. I chop my kale and most of my herbs up with scissors. Makes it nice and easy rather than with a knife. My mum has these scissors that have 3 blades, and they're specifically for herbs. Maybe I'll get one of them one day. I don't know whether I would, because I am not very good at doing dishes, and for me, you know, I constantly am cutting up herbs. Oh, look, it's my washing machine. Constantly cutting up herbs, and I have to wash the scissors all the time. I also put herbs in my cat's food, So that's another reason that I have dirty dishes of scissors. How colourful is that? Have a look at that. Beautiful. And that's, you know, like, that's what I've always loved about Mexican restaurants, is how colourful they are. And, you know, they always outdo them, some of the other cheaper restaurants, with the artwork that's really vibrant. So I'll add this a little bit more of kale. That's all I bothered picking. I don't want too much in it because, you know, kale is very overpowering. But when you cook it like this, it sort of lessens the flavour and makes it a little bit more spicy. As a spice, should I say. And of course, we've got to get these beans going. This is just a can of Coles refried beans. Usually I make my nachos from scratch, with, you know, soaking the beans and everything like that. But tonight I thought I would use this can because I did have it in the pantry, and you've got to use up the things in your pantry. You can't save everything for World War III. Or would it be 4? So fry it up good. Then we get these lovely refried beans into it. You may want to start adding water straight away, which is what I am going to do. Remember, we've got some water in a jar ready. Probably doing it with a knife is not the best idea, but you know, I like to be inventive. No, I am firmly one for pushing the envelope. So if I can find some ideas that how I wasn't doing things before, and perhaps maybe I've made it easier for myself, it's working quite well. But it does have all that gunk in the bottom. Gunk. Beans. Beans. Beans goodness. Not gunk. I'm going to get a spoon. Back directly. So, obviously I've got a spoon. Look, get that off there. A lot of people find me very funny, but I don't think on videos I'm very funny. I don't feel like I have to be. I don't feel like I have to be anyone for YouTube. I feel like it's more me recording my life, and you know, for history purposes. I laid hands on one of the VHSs that I made when I was a kid about, I was walking around school talking to people, like as in fellow students and that sort of thing. What a laugh. We might actually add the tomato, what is it called? Passato. Now, I like to put this because I like a bit of a tangy taste. You may not like these additives like kale and capsicum. You might want to keep it to just beans or just onions and beans. But it really does make a better flavour to fry it up before you put it on the bottom of the cooking of the nachos. This is one of my favourite spoons. I got it in the Sterling markets in Adelaide Hills many years ago. I think it was a really reasonable price too. They said to me, "Are you going to use it for show or to cook?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And was that show or was that cook? This way you get a very good focus on my cleavage, which I may get 1 or 2 extra viewers for that. So I'll be very thankful. I'm not into the OnlyFans thing, but you know, I've got my brains in the right place. I'm going to add a little bit of Coles taco seasoning because I'm lazy and, you know, it's easy. So I like to wait till the sauce, it's not sauce, it's beans. I like to wait till the beans have really thickened up. Can you hear people doing revving of the car in the background? If we're lucky, they'll do some of that very close by and we'll hear it. Wouldn't it be great if someone pulled up and did a burnout in my driveway? So keep stirring it until it gets really thick with all the moisture gone. If you want to taste it, do it with a fresh spoon and wash that spoon after. Don't put the spoon back in, no double dipping, especially when you're going to freeze some or give it to someone else. If you want to do that with your own cooking, that's up to you. Please don't do it when you're preparing mine. Once you've cooked all the moisture out of the beans, make way. Also, you should have by now preheated the oven to 180 degrees Celsius. This is one of the dishes I love using to make nachos. It's Emily Henry, and I've had it since the 90s. I got it on a half-yearly clearance at David Jones. And back in those days, David Jones used to literally just mark things out like next to nothing, and you'd pick up amazing fashion at very low prices, and homewares marked out very inexpensively as well. So I'm going to grab a big spoon like this. It's not a slotted spoon, and get scoops of the beans. Make a nice thick layer on the bottom. Oh look, I'm going to be using a lot more than half of this mix, it looks like. Smells delicious. Yep, that's good. Then we want to get the organic corn chips. You know, like one of the reasons you'd want to get organic corn chips is a lot of the corn chips would be made out of Monsanto corn, which is GMO corn, which is really unhealthy for you and for the planet. So have a look at these corn chips. They're round. So good. So, you know, you're at home. You don't have to be polite to anyone. Load up those corn chips. You've got a big thick layer of beans on the bottom. The idea is you want to stab them into the bean mix because it's sort of like having dip. I'm a bit of a dip and chips fan. That's why I have things like salsa and corn chips on hand. I have some evening meals or even lunches that are consisted of dips and chips. Probably my favourite is hummus. So we've got a heap of corn chips there. We've got a few left as well if we want to add to it after we're done. I like to get my cheese pre-shredded. It's, you know, by the time you do all the dishes and you know, a lot of cheese goes off. So we want to load it up with cheese because I love cheese. I know it's probably not the healthiest thing. And I hate vegan cheese. It's very, like I would like to include vegan cheese in my diet instead of having vegetarian cheese. But unfortunately it is not very tasty and I just refuse to eat it. So we've loaded that up. Should we put anything on the top? No. Now we're putting it in the oven. So we're going to let this bean mix cool in this dish, not too long because it'll go crusty, but then we'll put it in some Tupperware, and once it's very cool we'll pop it in the freezer. Yummy. 2 lots of nachos, less bother. Don't you love my cute little Tupperware? think it should fit. I love things like cute little Tupperwares and extra delicious beans, and also little things like that on your spoon. It makes life better than normal. And also, you can see, half see, and you'll see it in other parts of the video. I'll put a picture of it here. And this artwork, you know, that's one of the first artworks I put up in the house, and I think things like artwork make the world a better place. I just checked it. Doesn't look like it has enough cheese. I'm going to pull it out, put some more cheese on, put it back in. It's just lacking in certain areas. And we want to make it perfect, remember? Because we're making it for number 1. I don't normally put my hand inside the cheese packet. I guess I better use it in a hurry. There we go. Not too much extra. Glorious. So we have this awesome vegetarian nachos. I don't know what that noise was. I have a cat, so I find out later. I like it the way I do it, with the fresh vegetables and stuff. Makes it a little bit healthier. Delicious. Every bite is going to be delicious. I like the vegan sour cream. It's not too overpowering. The beans are super hot, hey? I haven't got myself a napkin. I will pause. My brother gave me this napkin in a set for Christmas one year. I've had a lot of lovely Christmas presents. Sort of over having any presents anymore because I've got so much stuff. Certainly worthwhile when you make your own nachos. When I get it from the shop, it's not always the way I want it to be. Ooh. I don't know whether you can see the steam rising off of that bean mix. I've done a good job with the available ingredients. So lately I've been doing a bit of gardening. lot of planting for the end of spring. Been enjoying my walks. Haven't been making many videos. Sort of been thinking about other things, hey. Been doing a bit of reading. A lot of paperwork. I've been trying to do a lot of sorting to, excuse fingers, as everyone always says, like they care. I've been trying to do a lot of sorting to just clear out some of the rubbish in my house. Oh, there's a few rooms that just are bedlam. Something I remember with a lot of fondness is being in Sydney in the early 90s. And there were so many Mexican restaurants there. And my favourite one was just off King's Cross, as in the main drag, calling it the drag. And they had the best nachos ever. And I lived in Newtown for a short amount of time, and they had a lovely Mexican restaurant there that had reasonable nachos, but these ones in King's Cross were the best. I'm one of those people that when I taste something I can replicate it, because I'm smart. And sloppy. Tonight we're drinking lemon and lime juice with spring water. Did you hear that? My spring water thing just bubbled. I call it a water bubbler. I wonder if I can get this piece in my mouth. I'm looking at the choices of videos on YouTube. I still don't know what all the statistics and everything mean on YouTube. One of my friends told me they are not, he's found that they're not, they can't be real. I love this meal. I wonder what it would be like to go to a nightclub tonight. I'd probably fall asleep on the dance floor. I don't even like dancing anymore. A bit of a sit there and enjoy the music. So why I've got some green on is because my dear old dad that died, he was Irish. He always said green for the Irish. I wonder if I would prefer to be living with someone and not have as good food. Because maybe if I was living with someone, I wouldn't be able to concentrate on making a delicious meal. Certainly the addition of the capsicum and even the kale is awesome. The vegan sour cream is not as wonderful as normal sour cream. It's very runny. However, vegan sour cream has no cholesterol. And I apparently have high cholesterol. I'm just about to have another blood test. So, I wish you well, and if we head into World War III, don't worry so much. It'll all be over very soon. And that's horrifying. But no one is willing to speak up and stop Putin, if that's the one that needs to be stopped. I haven't been in contact with a lot of people for a long time, so I don't really know common opinion. But lies, like from what I remember, media lies. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're all being fed a load of garbage about everything. that solid recipe for vegetarian nachos will be in the description. I hope you enjoy your own Saturday night, whenever that occurs. Every Saturday night should be a fun Saturday night. See ya.